Check out the rest of this video to find out the most life-changing books we have read. You don't want to miss it.
Hi YouTube family, we are Mathilda and Mike, and we both enjoy sharing our passion for love, finance, and healthy living in our weekly videos. If you find our videos helpful, then help us out by hitting that like button down below. And if you're new here, please do subscribe, and for everyone else, welcome back.
You all know that we love to read, especially books that have to do with personal finance or personal development. And in today's video, we're talking about the top 3 books that have made the most impact in our lives.
My first book is The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. This book right here really opened the door to the personal development world. And it's not the first personal development book that I read, but it was definitely the one that I connected to the most. One of the great quotes from this book is actually, most people who decide to grow personally find their first mentors in the pages of books. Nowadays, one could argue that you could find them on YouTube, but for me, it was this book right here. In this book, John talks about all the different components of personal development and personal growth. He really maps out where to start and how to stay consistent. Now, the key is to change something that you do every day. One of my favorite quotes by him of all time pretty much is, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily." This book is a great place to start in order to accelerate your growth and change your life.
My first book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I absolutely love this book. It has amazing, easily applicable tips and information about how to live a more authentic and goal-focused lifestyle. I love the tips that he gives in this book. They're so easy to apply. I loved when he talked about creating an individual mission statement as well as a family mission statement. That way you know the direction that you're going, and you and your family kind of have a game plan as well. You kind of know what you want to achieve as a family. I also love the chapter where he talks about being proactive and going for those things that you want to achieve, and pinpointing them, and also how to achieve them step by step. Another favorite chapter of mine is Think Win-Win, and in this chapter he talks about the importance of being courageous and also being considerate. So not giving up on something, but also being flexible and working with other people toward a specific goal, but also making sure that you're getting what you want at the end of it as well. So that was a very, very good chapter. Overall, I absolutely love this book. So many highlights in it, and I gained a lot of amazing tips.
My next book is The Ultimate Library of Jim Rohn. It's only in Audible form, so we'll kind of put a screenshot of what it looks like somewhere in the screen right around now. But it is pretty much Jim Rohn's greatest hits album. And it is only in Audible form, so it's pretty much him doing his different seminars and speeches. And he is a very dynamic and powerful speaker, and it just flows so nicely from piece to piece. Now, it is riddled with just life-changing pearls throughout the entire book. I've listened to it so many times, and each time there's another life-changing idea that I didn't even pick up on the first time. He talks pretty much all about the different components of life and how to live more of a balanced life, but he always starts with beginning with personal philosophy. Personal philosophy is the idea that you can change your circumstances and surroundings by working on and developing yourself. When you develop yourself, your circumstances will automatically change. Or as he puts it, in order to have more, you have to become more. The Ultimate Jim Rohn Library definitely gets a 2 thumbs up from me, and is a high recommendation. A few more of his quotes that I'm going to leave you with are, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And also, what's easy and simple to do is also easy and simple not to do. Think about that.
The next book on my list is The Millionaire Next Door. This is not your typical personal finance book. This book is really amazing. I feel like the typical personal finance books are boring, they're kind of hard to read, sometimes you don't understand what's going on or what they're talking about, but this book is very practical. It talks about the typical American millionaire and gives you their stats and kind of gets you to know who they are and how they achieved millionaire status. And the big takeaways that I got from this book is that millionaires really invest in assets and not liabilities. So things like stocks, things like passive income from different investments like real estate, and they do not invest in liabilities. They don't buy fancy cars, they don't buy, you know, fancy bags and huge mansions. And even though the people that have those things look like millionaires, they actually might not be millionaires because their money is tied up in these things that depreciate versus money being put into things that actually end up making more money at the end of the day. So this book really opened my eyes, and it was very interesting because it had a lot of stats on, you know, what these typical millionaires do for a living, where they live, what kind of cars they prefer to buy, where they prefer to shop, what kind of suits they wear. So it's really interesting, and it actually helped me to learn how to manage my money better. Something that I learned as well is that true millionaires spend time on their budget. Every week they dedicate specific amounts of hours on allocating where their money is going and making sure their investments are paying off, and really tracking their expenses and making sure they're coming out on top.
My third and final life-changing book that we're going to go through is Robin Sharma's The 5 a.m. Club. This is a great book, and it's all about getting up early, around 5 a.m., to join that 5 a.m. club and own your morning to elevate your life. He does a great job of teaching his principles and his really easy to implement and scalable system throughout the book. He uses something called spaced repetition, using the different characters throughout the book who would learn from different lessons, and he takes his principles and applies them to become like takeaways and pearls that you can use to implement in your own life, which is pretty awesome. A few of his pearls that I'll go ahead and reveal are: all change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. Also, the smallest implementations is always worth more than the grandest of intentions.
The last book on my list is called Bigger, Leaner, Stronger, and it's by Michael Matthews. I actually have an audio version of this book, an Audible version. I don't have a physical copy. I listened to it on Audible, and it was such an amazing book. And it's not your typical personal development book, it's actually a fitness book. And this book talks about all things healthy eating. It talks about how to grow muscle, how to lose fat, and how to tone your body in the right places. And I learned what compound exercises are effective in building specific body parts. I learned how to do those compound exercises effectively and safely. I learned about how to target specific parts of my body, and how to track macronutrients and to make sure I was feeding my body the right type of things for the body goals that I had at the time. So more protein for more muscle mass, different things to tweak to kind of achieve the body that you want. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was actually very helpful, and I actually saw really amazing changes once I started using the strategies in that book. I used an app to track my macronutrients and to track my food intake. It was amazing to see that, wow, my body can actually put on muscle and look really good. So yeah, that book was amazing. It was transformative, and I actually use those skills to this day because I still go to the gym, I still do those compound movements, and I also added some cardio here and there, but now I absolutely love heavy lifting, and I love the squat rack.
Thanks for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it and got some valuable information from it as well. Don't forget to hit that like button and click that subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.